the purpose of awarding the contract for the 2016 Depot Great Room renovation project. It's hereby understood that the meeting of January 25th, 2016 at 4:30 City Hall, Thomas J. Smith Council Chambers is a special meeting called by a majority of the members of the Burlington City Council. Notice was personally acknowledged and notice was made by the city clerk. Roll call, please.
Scott? Wilson?
Here.
Davidson?
Here.
Fleming?
Here.
McCampbell?
Thank you. We have a motion.
Yes, I would like to introduce a resolution awarding contract for the 2016 Depot Great Room renovation project.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and second. Mr. Homebrecker, are you going to lead us through this?
I'm fine.
All right.
Just thought maybe I'd have a little minute while we said the Pledge of Allegiance. We don't have to do that on this type of meeting?
No.
Okay. Well, Mayor and City Council, this has, in my opinion, been coming for quite some time. We kind of started the current journey back in May when we submitted for a grant, a public transportation infrastructure grant to the IDOT. We learned that we received that in July. We got Klinger and Associates under contract, I believe, in September. Put all the bids out, and they came back January 15th. And I had Eric, this was in your packet, but I thought I'd blow it up in case the public needs to see it a little bit more. But
That's good.
this is the bid tabulation that you see in front of you. And essentially, we had 5 contractors. The estimate by the architect was like $637,000. The bids range from $627,700 to $1,190, up to $714,000, almost $1,715,000. The first low 4 bids were extremely close, all within 4%. So I think we got a good bid. We did have, like I said, have 5 bidders. We've reviewed these numbers with Klinger, and the chart that below was also included in there with the funding considerations. I'm going to kind of go over that. We have, from the project funding, we essentially have $705,000 that we can kind of quote-unquote bank on, and you know that's been some of the questions. There's $480,000 from the grant, $120,000 from the city. The time this was put together, right at $105,000 from Friends and Depot. And there is a note at the bottom, since this was put together for council last week, they've actually raised another $5,000. So that number is actually now up to 110, but for these calculations and the discussion of this meeting, we'll concentrate on this. The projected project cost, when you add other things in with Klinger, their fees, et cetera, is right at the $671,974. When we come into a project like this, we'd honestly kind of like to keep some contingency, because more than likely when you're working with an old building, although I think they did a good job putting everything together, we're probably going to find something. We're going to probably have a change order, come up with some more money. Ideally, we'd like to have 10%. And if we took 10% of that 627, that'd be almost $63,000. That would bring the estimated total at this time to $734,695. And with the money we have available, with the 105, we were $29,000, almost $700 short. If we back that off to a 5% contingency, around $31,000, then the estimated construction is at 703, 354 the estimate, and that's below at that time the $705,000, and therefore I've recommended okay. As part of the project, there were 5 alternates. Ideally, we'd like to have several of these done. We'd like to have at least 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5 would also be desirable, but right now there isn't money. And so the recommendation in front of you is to award the base bid to Chicken Dance Construction of Fort Madison, Iowa, in the amount of $627,000, $627 to $1,190. That kind of summarizes where we're at today. I know Russ from Klinger's here if there are any questions. I know Friends of Depot they've kind of been anxiously waiting for this as well, so I see we've got members of them in the audience as well. So,
Council, you have any questions, or Steve?
No questions really, just concerns I've heard from a few people just about awarding these kinds of things to like local, like Burlington local. I understand, money is an issue and we'd want to go with the lowest bid for that reason, because of money. I don't know if anybody else has heard anything or
I believe I mean, the good news is, I'm sure based on all this, that a lot of the subs are gonna be local. I do know that.
Okay.
I think the other thing is council put I don't know, policy together a while back that if people were like within 5% up to like $5,000, you would consider them, but I don't think that's for this type of.
No, in fact, if you let,
Okay.
Let me have the officials.
Yeah, under the purchasing policy, up to a formal purchasing bid, which is like 40,000, we can accept a bid that might be a little bit higher if it's within that 5% for local. But when you go above the 40,000, you have to follow the state code, which is to take the lowest bidder.
Okay, that answers that. Thank you.
That's more or less what I said.
And
How
I
about
guess,
other question?
I guess also, we have this combination of Klinger and Chicken Dance, and we just finished the facade project, which came in over budget. Are we comfortable being okay with the same combination here?
I can't, as I stand here, I mean, I can't answer it. I know that I've had discussions with Klinger, and we did meet with both of them, and they're both very well aware of that. And the answer to that, in my opinion, is to do as good a job as we can with contract oversight. And I think everybody's very well aware, if there are gonna be issues, let's get them brought in up front and handle it.
in regards to the bids on the downtown project, I don't know if Eric is a little bit more familiar with that, but when we got the original base bid back, that was where we came in 20% above? or-
Yeah, it's a couple $100,000 above what our original rough estimates were.
And so that was, in this situation there, what they came in with a bid is a little bit under the preliminary estimate rather than being 200,000 over. It's still an issue to make sure that as change orders come up, to make sure that during that change order process that is watched and make sure that the costs are realistic, but.
And exactly what I wanted to hear you say, so thank you, and what the people in the public want to hear you say, so good,
Okay.
thank you. Is there anyone from the audience, or Mr. Fleming, do you have any?
No, I have nothing for you.
Anyone from the audience who wishes to make comments or have questions? I take that as a no. Do we have anything else, council?
No, I don't. I think it's a
Good.
good program.
Okay. I was hoping we'd wait till Mr. Scott got here, but we don't have time, so here we go. Ready?
Wilson,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Fleming,
Aye.
Hang on a minute.
Oh,
Mr. Scott. Oh, just as we said that, here he comes.
Said what?
Oh, we were
And they
hoping
want you
you'd
to
get-
vote on giving me a raise. That was what's going on.
You don't want me here then?
Okay.
No, we were just,
All right, we had 3 votes. No.
we're just ready to vote on the depot project. Do you have any comments, real quickly here,
I wish I'd have waited.
or? Yeah.
I missed it all.
Okay.
What's the proposal? I apologize. The 603?
It's
703?
627.
That's a contract bid. The 703s, when we put contingencies and add Klinger fees, and at a 5% contingency where that will be, and we currently have $705,000. Actually, we're now up to $710,000 raised.
But the base bid is 627 to 1190 with Chicken Dance.
Okay,
So far, we've had 3 yes votes.
okay. Let's go.
Scott,
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn this special meeting.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Kathleen?
Scott,
Aye.
Wilson,
aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Fleming.
Aye.
Thank you. This meeting's adjourned, and